Hello and welcome back finally to the Glimmer Witch. Yes, I am coming back. When I do return to work from the 12th, hopefully, I will only be doing friends and family. However, I managed to get a full-time job in the first lockdown and I absolutely love it. So decided that I'm going to keep the full-time job and return to nails as a hobby. So I've got my mum today. Now she has quite hard nails to do, so I thought it was a good one to practice on to come back with. Please excuse my voice. I have a viral infection, so my voice may disappear at times. Hence why I had the time to do her nails, because I'm off work sick at the minute. So I am prepping with a cuticle pusher and I'm covering that whole nail because she's not had nails on for a while. Look at all that I've got off there. So you need to make sure you get the whole nail. I am then using my Skittle bit, which is from, I think it's from CJP. I'm sure it is. Once I've done that, I then come in with my ball bit because Mum has very, very hard, dry cuticles, so I can't always get them as neat as I would other people's. I do trim a little bit away. I'm not very confident with cuticle nippers, so I don't usually bother, but what I'm trying to do is just get them as prepped as I can before I get her tips on. So once I've got those done, I come in with my file, so 180 side, and I am lightly etching that whole nail, and I'm coming in from both directions, just to cross hatch it to give it a better adhesion. I am then filing the natural nail slightly, can't go too low. Mum has quite a high hypernicum because she normally has quite long nails. And I do apologise for going out of shot. It's the first time I've had all of my kit out for somebody else for a while. So I haven't got everything set up the way I should. So from last lockdown, the last time I did a video, we have now moved house. So I'm in a brand new house. I am set up currently in my sunroom with a small amount of stuff, but we are still planning to build that summer house. So at the minute, it's a very small amount of stuff. But we got moved okay. How can you believe it's been almost a year? It's ridiculous. So although I want to go back into nails full time, I've got so used to having a full-time wage and I'd miss it. So yeah, I'm just going to restart just with friends and family, and just so that I can keep my hand in, keep my name going, keep my YouTube videos going, hopefully. So once I've prepped all of the nails, I will wipe them over with Smacetone, get rid of any dust, make sure that they're all nice and matte looking, because that's what you need. I'm then coming in with these tips. Now these are the new curved tips from Tracy Lou. Oh my word, they are lovely. So I thought I'd try them out on my mum today. I did use one the other day on me when I broke one, but first time I've used them on anybody else. Stick so quickly. I'm using CJP's Gripper Glue as always. I only use Tracy Lou's nail tips now, by the way. I don't use any others. I do have some Glitter Planet stiletto tips somewhere, which I will use up before I buy the Tracy Lou ones, but I rarely do long stilettos on anyone, so it wasn't worth getting rid of them. But these are beautifully long and they're lovely and curved. So with my mum, she likes her coffin shape, ballerina. So I do cut the length down. But very quick to stick, beautiful, beautiful curved nail tips, absolutely love them. So if you'd like to order from there, it's Tracy Lou, www.tracylou.co.uk. So making sure I've got those in, and just once I've got them stuck, I just push the wings in slightly. What I like about these is they're slightly wider as well, so because my mum's got quite wide nail beds, so it was easier to get the tips to fit. So coming in with my stalk scissors, cutting that length off, and I'm literally just trimming those sides down to give myself less to file, because I don't like filing. I don't know anybody who likes filing. And I've got to say, I'm so out of practice. So I thought this would be a good video to come back with, because we're all going to be like that. Unless you've been very good and practicing all the way through. I have not. I've literally done my nails. And I did my mum's nails at Christmas. That's about it. I briefly returned for about 3 weeks when we came out of the first lockdown. But struggled to do the full-time job and nails, so I stopped. So using my Tracy Lou nail file, these are amazing, love them. So 180 side, and I'm just tidying those up and then making sure that there's no bits sticking up on those wings. If you get your shape now, little tip for doing tips, do them slightly thinner than you want the actual shape to be, because you're going to put your acrylic on there. Another decision I have made, I am not going to be returning to doing gel polish. I very rarely use it, I very rarely do it, and the few clients that I have now that are friends don't have gel polish anyway, so I'm not going to bother. I may get some white and black just for designs if I feel like it, but other than that, I'm not going to bother. So just wiping over with acetone there, make sure that's nice and blended. Coming in with my CJP, and I think it's Prep Spray Plus. So I use a lint-free wipe just to wipe that over, and then a very small coat of Dehydrate. However, you don't need to dehydrate, because I am using 1.2 monomer from CJP, which is primerless. I didn't use primer or dehydrator when I did my nails. 3.5 weeks later, they're all still on. So coming in first with that thin clear base, just to act as my adhesion. And the only reason I haven't zoomed in is because it is literally one bead of acrylic. So I did see the point. So just get that first bead on there, make sure it's nice and neat. And then we are doing khaki. But I'm going to start with one nail of Perfect Peach. Now this is the first full nail I've done on somebody else in forever. So my technique is shocking. Perfect Peach isn't the easiest colour to work with anyway, and I was working a little bit wetter than I would normally. So it shows how out of practice I am. But do you know what? It filed up okay, and we did stamping over the top, so it's all good. So second bead just a little bit lower down, just try and get that tip nice and covered. So just blending that back, just patting the sides along to make sure it's nice and neat. And then I come in with a third bead. A little bit later on, I do cap the coloured acrylic nails as well. So yeah, working a little bit wetter than I would normally, but I think it's just because I'm out of practice. So it's not the most beautiful nail I've ever done, but you know, I'll get back into it, it's fine. So yeah, bit lumpy bumpy, but you know, we live and learn. So just showing, it's quite cold in here as well, so it wasn't setting massively quickly. Just cleaning my brush out there. We are then coming in with khaki. Mum wanted green nails. So this is khaki. So because it's a nice shimmery colour, that first bead right on at the cuticle area, and then pull it down the nail, keeping it nice and neat. I am aware, if you are new to watching my channel, number one, hi. Number two, that you will have been taught to go sort of on the tip first and work that way. I just find it easier to work this way now. So just adding a bit of colour on that tip and feathering that back, using my brush along the sides to shape that acrylic before it sets. And once I'm happy, I come in with a clear bead of acrylic, tap, tap, tap around that cuticle and pull it down the nail. And then just check it from each side to make sure you've got your apex where you need it, your strength is where you need it. Again, using my brush. So this is also khaki. It's a beautiful dark green with a lovely gold shimmery glitter in it, so it's a very nice colour to use. Can't remember where I saw this set of nails. It was on Instagram, so apologies if you are the original creator of these nails. I honestly cannot for the life of me remember where I got the photo from, but I wanted to do something simple. My mum can be a bit arty-farty sometimes, and she sometimes puts colours together that aren't great, so I pushed her a little bit to have the green, well, not to have the green, she chose the green, but the glitter she chose to go with it was just wrong, so I convinced her. She also doesn't normally have stamping. She's never had stamping from me, but where we used to go, it was quite basic stamping and she was never keen. But I've got new stamping plates and stamping polishes, so thought I would force her, as you do. So I'm just coming in with that clear and I'm just building that strength where I need it. And same on the thumb, again, it is khaki, so I use a small amount of khaki to get the colour there because they are very highly pigmented. You don't need a lot, and if you cap in clear, you're then using a smaller amount of coloured acrylic. You're not wasting it, and I'm a bit cheap like that, I'm a bit tight. So that first bead goes on, tap 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 around that cuticle. I come in with the second one near that tip, and you can see just by my application that I'm already getting better just in that first hand. Second hand was even better. So then coming in with that clear, tap, tap, tap round that cuticle and then pulling the rest of that acrylic down. And then I'm checking it, tapping it. Like I said, it's quite cold, so it's not setting massively quickly. And I'm then adding acrylic in as I need it. On this index finger, we are coming in with Fool's Gold, which is also a coloured acrylic from CJP. Beautiful acrylic to work with, this one. I pulled far too much off that nail, I didn't need to. So coming back in at the tip, feathering it back. You can see I'm working slightly wet. But we did have the door open in the sunroom today because it was sunny, cold but sunny. So I then come in and cap all the coloured nails. One, because I don't want to lose that glitter when I file, and two, because in a couple of places I needed a bit more product. So yeah, just giving that acrylic a little bit of time to set, and then I come back in with a little bit more, I think. That is the base nails done. I have left the filing in. I have sped this video up to 2 times its normal speed, just to keep it down under 20 minutes. But you can see as I'm working, I'm checking it from all angles to make sure I've got the shape that I want. And then I'm just using the brush to pat it and press it into shape, just to cut down the filing at the end. So I've left filing at this angle because you don't need to see close up really. Same filing routine as always, side walls, free edge, and then up and around that cuticle. It looks like I'm filing quite aggressively. I'm not, and I'm trying to be good and remembering to turn my file round to use it the right way round. So I'm using the 180 side, grit side. So just making sure that extension is coming straight out from that nail bed. And then just down the barrel of the nail, just at the sides. Once I have filed it, I will then use my buffer. I use the CJP buffers. I've used them for ages and ages now. I don't see the point of changing because they're good. And that way, I'm filing every single nail the same way. Side wall, side wall. And you can see that I'm using my thumbs and my fingers to hold that length of that nail so that I'm not hurting my mum as I'm filing. And then gently around that cuticle. Sometimes if I've got someone who's got very sensitive cuticles, I will use my e-file. But I tend not to. I'm sort of neat enough now that I don't have to. So that's a bonus. Apologies for any background noise as well. I have got my eldest son back living with us. Has been for a little while. So these family people keep walking in and out. Going back in with the nail file because I wasn't happy with the shaping. I shall get there in a minute. Another good way to get your shaping right is to turn the hand around at the end. That's a tip I learned from Tracy Lou as well. I haven't even watched any nail videos for ages. I've got so many to catch up on. So same again. So it's pretty much the same all the way through. So my new job, which isn't my new job, I've been there nearly a year now, is as a night porter in a specialist care home. Obviously, they were still working all through lockdown. I absolutely love it. Working nights, but, you know, it's decent money. I've made some friends. The nights works with Zach being at school. And, yeah, having a regular income. There's me moving my mum. She was sitting at a funny angle, so I made a shift. Really do like this gold. It is a nice colour. So yeah, I hope that you are all looking forward to getting back to work. I hope that you stick around because I will be putting more content on, and hopefully once I get into a routine I can start getting some regular videos up. May only be a couple a week, but you know, I'll do my best. I promise you, I am not filing anywhere near as aggressively as it looks. It is just because I've sped it up. So once I've done those four, I usually do the 4 fingers. I then use my dusty brush and some acetone just to wipe away that dust, make sure they're nice and clean, make sure there's no bits hanging off them. I then filed the thumb, which I didn't show. So I'm coming in and I'm doing a coat of CJP Top Gloss, I think it is. I'm doing a thin coat on that ring finger as well, and that's because I'm going to stamp on there. If you put a thin coat down before you stamp, if you go wrong, you can wipe it off. It's easy. So I usually do a thin coat to start with. So all of those fingers, I'm just taking the excess gloss off there. I cured that then for 60 seconds. I'm then coming in with my Born Pretty stamper. And I think it's a Born Pretty plate as well. And we've just come in. I then get a little cotton swab and take off the bit I didn't need. Like so. Wipe over my plate with the same pad. Put that stuff away. And then a very thin coat of CJP over the top of that. 30 seconds. And then a second coat, and it just seals that in. And that, with some cuticle oil, is it. I'm done. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's lovely to be back, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.